After months of motions and pleas, disgraced hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs is now just days away from the start of his federal sex crimes trial. Combs looked gray and thin at his final pretrial hearing today in Manhattan. He confirmed to the judge that he had, in fact, rejected this last-minute plea deal from the prosecution. Details of the plea deal were not revealed, but prosecutors said if Combs had taken it, he would have served less prison time than he will if he's found guilty. Jury selection was also discussed today. Starting Monday, 50 jurors will be questioned in person every day, one at a time. That process will last for 3 days, and the goal is to seat 45 jurors. Sean Combs will be present for all the questioning of those jurors. Opening statements are then expected to begin May 12th, and that trial is expected to last more than 8 weeks. Unlike other hearings, today none of Combs's kids were in court. Only his cousin showed up wearing a red Free Puff sweatshirt, but he had to turn it inside out while he was inside the courtroom. As for Combs himself, we've only seen him wear this drab prison uniform in court, but that will change come Monday. The judge has allowed the former fashion label icon and founder of Sean John Clothing to wear his own clothes to court. As the trial approaches, we're getting a better idea of the defense strategy. Combs's team is laying the groundwork for a diminished mental capacity defense, claiming that the former hard-partying rapper might not have been capable of committing the crimes he's accused of because of all the drugs and alcohol he was consuming at the time. To help break all of this down, we're joined now by criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool and Guy D'Andrea, a former assistant district attorney turned civil trial lawyer. Great to have you both with us. So, Brian, this diminished mental capacity defense, is this a good idea?
Hey, Elizabeth, great to be back with you. No, it's not a good idea. I think the better idea for P. Diddy was, remember, you might have heard this, that he's a swinger, not a criminal, and that the alleged victims did this on their own volition, that they were not coerced. Because you need coercion to prove the human trafficking. You need the coercion to prove the RICO charge. But look, to go off now and say, oh, I was drinking, I was inebriated, I couldn't have formed the intent to do this, that would send a license to everybody across the country that you can go out and party, the influence, and go assault and sexually assault somebody and get away with it. Yeah, so that's never going to fly.
Yeah.
Never going to fly like that.
Guy, have you heard of this defense? Has it ever worked before?
It works in a singular event, but when you have decades, literally decades of abuse, planning, perpetrating systematically, if the allegations, right, are of course true, how can you allege a diminished capacity over 20 plus years of doing this type of activity? He was incapacitated the entirety of that time. It's laughable at that.
Yeah, well, never mind that everybody who drives drunk and kills somebody can say, I was drunk, I didn't know what I was doing, so therefore I'm not guilty. Moving on, Guy, Combs also in court today confirmed to the judge that he had rejected this plea deal from prosecutors. We don't know anything about it. All we know is that the sentence would have been less severe. But the prosecution made a really big deal out of making sure that he confirmed this. What's going on?
Absolutely. The last thing you want is after a conviction, assuming they secure one, is having him argue that I wasn't represented properly or I had ineffective assistance of counsel and I wasn't fully apprised of my rights. They never told me what was offered, meaning if he is convicted here for the systematic abuse of all of these women and what he's been charged with, he could face up to a life sentence. When you accumulate all of the potential charges if he's convicted on all of them. So what you wouldn't want is him after the fact saying, wait a second, if I had been fully apprised of my rights, I would have definitely taken that deal. Yeah. But you want to nip it in the bud right now.
Yeah. Brian, jury selection starts on Monday, just a few days from now. They're going to have a hard time finding jurors who have never heard of this case or have never heard of Sean Combs, who was quite famous, estimated to be worth $1 billion or more. How are they going to do that?
Yeah, great question, Elizabeth. So I did the retrial of Dalia Dippolito down in West Palm Beach, Florida. And in that case, what the trial judge allowed, because remember, that was the video of her saying, I'm 10,000% sure I want to kill my husband. That video went viral. So what the judge did in that case is he allowed individual voir dire. What does that mean? That means you can question the jury generally about, hey, do you know much about this case? Have you heard about it? And then if they say they have, then you could separate each juror from the rest of the jury, and then you can question them individually and do a much deeper dive. Like, what did you read about it? How many TV shows?
Have you
What
formed an
network did you
opinion?
watch? Yeah, exactly, right. So I think that's going to be really the key to getting a fair jury. But look, at the end of the day, I think Guy would agree. Jurors don't always tell you everything. So
Right.
it is in some effects a crapshoot.
So, Guy, when it comes as a prosecutor who's done this, you know, this trial is going to be incredibly salacious. How do you prepare jurors for what they're about, the testimony they're about to not only hear from witnesses, but see? There's that horrific video from the hotel security camera of Sean Combs, where it looks to be he is allegedly beating his girlfriend Cassie, dragging her by the hair. That video, Cassie's going to be a witness. That video will be played in court as per the judge. What are you looking for as you look for these jurors? And are you looking for people who are not going to be easily upset or squeamish by some of these things or distressed?
Yeah, to some extent, right? Because what you don't want is a mistrial or to lose juror after juror. And what I mean is, you know, if you have someone who is a potential juror who otherwise looks good, but let's say they have a significant history of abuse themselves or a family member has, well, seeing a video like that could become incredibly triggering, maybe to the point where they can't actually continue. And so it's really making sure that you're digging, without being too pervasive, but you're digging into the jurors or the prospective jurors' background. You have to.
Yeah. All right. It's going to be a fascinating few days to cover. Guy DeAndrea, Brian Claypool, thank you both for giving us your expertise. All right.